Okay, now we're going to talk about probably the hardest position to play in these defenses, which is our DBs and our outside backers. When you progress from the 4-4 to the 4-2-5, it's a pretty easy progression, but you are asking your outside backers now to drop back, and they've got cover 3 rules, so they're going deep thirds instead of doing flats like they do in 4-4. We've made their run support stuff the same. Those are pretty athletic kids in our program, so backing them up from 4 yards where they play in the base, 4-4, and then they back up 6 to 8 yards, it's not a problem. If you do what we do and also do the 3-4, then your Panther's got to be a pretty talented kid. He's got some adjustments to make. In the 3-4, it's pretty similar to what we're already doing. And like I've said in the previous videos, also your stud either's got to be a special player or you're going to have to sub out for him. But if you're going to do all 3 like we're doing, we're looking for a pretty special kid in the Panther. It's like in the old days of the 5'2" Okie Monster and that monster guy that strong safety always went to that's the type of kid we're looking at the Panther. He's a coverage guy, he's a hitter, he's a run force guy like that. So let me go through this. I'm going to do the best job I can trying to explain the simplicity of it. It really is pretty simple for us, but it's a lot to cover because when you start changing the defenses, we can keep the fronts the same, but it's where the defensive backs really start having to shuffle and know their rules, going from a cover 2 to a cover 3 to a cover 4. There's some subtle differences here. Let's look at the board. Okay, I've already talked about this in previous videos. Now remember, we've got 3 different defenses here. So our contain is coming from, also it's coming from our will. And in the 3-4, we're sliding our stud out there. So we got some contain. Basically, it's those guys that are playing out there on the perimeter as outside linebackers. And I'll get into that a little bit. And it's our free safety in our cover 3. He's the hunter. In our 3-4, we've got 2 safeties who drop the Panther back here. So in the 3-4, our will and stud are containing. And here, we also include the Panther. So these are our 3-4s, but you get the basic idea of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bounce so that we can pursue. Our pass philosophy, I've covered this already in the previous videos, and here's the biggie. We're going to take care of the vertical game, and we're not going to get beat deep. We are not going to get beat deep. Get beat deep, take a seat. Here it is. If they're going to complete some stuff underneath, we get our kids to understand that that's okay. We just rally to it. We have great pursuit, and we're not too worried about that. In fact, we like rallying into it because we get some big hits and can separate the ball from the defender. These are what we're running. Like I said, I've been covering these on the previous videos. If you've got to see them, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, this is basically what we're doing. And why did we do it? I'll give you the simple reason. Here it is. Why we decided to do this. When we looked at our defenses, our inside backers are everything we do. And so we needed defenses that didn't disrupt that and they could still read offensive linemen. There it is, right there. And we didn't want the rules to change. And with the exception of the Panther a little bit, for the most part, we have a Panther and Willie and some linemen here. They're 2 to 3 yards off in the 4-4. We back them up 6 to 8 yards here, but they still have pitch. They still are coming up and our force players on the run, and everything's the same. Now, when we go to this defense, Willie was fine, but we did drop our Panther back, and now we've replaced that with a stud. That's what I'm saying, that for you to do all 3 like what we're doing and have the success we're doing, these are the kids have to be your special players. These are your studs. These are your guys, man. These are your defensive players. But those kids have to be pretty special and unique and can do real versatile. Real versatile. That's the word I'm looking for. You need versatile players to do all 3 of these. If you're just going to do the 4-4-4-2-5, then you're fine, because all you're going to do is either do your job at 4 yards or do your job at 6 yards. That's really it. We're real big on pursuit drill. I've already covered them. At the end of practice, we're doing our pursuit drills, and I've shown that on the first video. But we have some pursuit drills that are specific to these players. Now, make sure you put them in the scenarios. Here, I've got them in a cover 4. Okay, put them in the cover 3s, put them in the cover 2s. Make sure they understand all the responsibilities. Why do I have the tackles here? Because that's line of sight. They have to see the high hat. We need them reading the last man on the line of scrimmage. You want to add something to this drill and make it a little bit more challenging. Then as they get better, add a receiver, so you have to defeat the stock block. You want to make it more challenging, add another receiver, and add the crack block. So as this gets more challenging, add those blocks that you just covered on the previous slide. Put another running back here and get them in a lead blocking situation. Okay? Bottom line is they've got to understand their angles, but I would start it with no blockers, so they really understand their angles and understand their fits. Never, ever do it without your in-line on the line of scrimmage. So I drew this with a 2 safety look. We could do the same thing with the 1 safety look, and the Panther up, whether this is the 4-2-5, but if he's up here in the 4-4, let him play with the alignment, same thing. Progress up and add some blockers, but making sure that he understands alley player, inside shoulder, set the boundary, and make sure that they understand that. And don't forget about your straight ahead, running right upfield. We rocker step here, and now they come up, right? They come up, and again, they're going to be making their tackle. We do everything with the inside shoulder, so they're going to come in here and make that tackle. And now the corners still are the touchdown savers, and make sure they understand that scenario. What if you wanted to rep it, right, out of the cover 3, or the 4-2-5, get your Panther, get your Willies, right, and make sure they understand what their role in here is. This safety is going to come up and obviously force a decision. And whatever the running back comes, we better be coming in here and finishing that thing pretty hard.